You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network. Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Liz Eston.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Liz to like musical theater. And you guys, I am so excited to welcome back one of our favorite guests of all time. Truly, I'm not even saying that with hyperbole. You will recognize them in many places. But please join me in welcoming the face of our Miss Saigon episode, our Allegiance episode, our 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee episode, Rachel Clare Chan, who you may also know them from the Leeds Playhouse production of Oliver, Miss Saigon in Vienna, and maybe some show called Death Note. Which we may or may not be talking about today.
Damn, we got all the stars on this show. Let's go.
We get the stars.
Rachel, my gosh, what a journey it's been since your first time on this show.
I know. I feel like I've aged a little bit. Maybe
just a little bit,
quite
maybe
a lot,
half day.
actually.
When did we do Miss Saigon? Was that like 10 years ago? 20 years ago?
I know. I think that was actually, it must have been more than 5 years ago, which feels crazy.
Yes, and you had to have been, what, 17, 16, around there?
Yeah, and since then I've done the show. So that's crazy, isn't it?
It's pretty wild. And just seeing your career grow over the years, I was being all sentimental before this, but watching from afar is truly a remarkable and lovely thing. So much that we are now getting Patreon-requested episodes where you are a main character in the musical being requested, and then the bootleg we are given has your name in the description of it, where it's like, wow, this is surreal for us.
It's wild. I mean, I think the thing with like bootlegging is like it's so hard to talk about because I'm like people sometimes are like, oh, you know, everybody has opinions on bootlegs, but I think as a theater kid growing up, watching bootlegs was such like a big thing in the way that I found my way into theater. And so seeing my face or name in people's like videos of the show has definitely been a really weird full circle moment. It's like, I'd never thought that I would feel like I had made it because I was in a bootleg. But yeah, I don't know why that was the thing.
I mean, that is the moment you've made it. So many people have found their careers and niche because of bootlegs. Like, I'm sure that the folks that were in the Heathers bootleg are grateful every day they did not call for their understudies that day. Because that has lived beyond them in so many ways.
Exactly.
So, not asking your opinion on bootlegs would never put you on the record like that, but I think they're a net good, and that is an opinion all my own.
Look, if you've made it in the pirate community, then you've made it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you're going to be like one of those stars eventually, like one of those like theater stars where people will collect bootlegs of you and just be like, this is my Rachel Clare Chan collection.
Rachel Chair Clan collection.
Or you just sit in chairs.
No.
Exactly. No. There I am.
God.
Well, Rachel, truly it is amazing to have you on because this week we are talking about something that also dates back to our early days of this podcast, along with you, Frank Wildhorn in Death Note, the musical. Cue the music.
Show me what's right about the wrongs that we allow. Real people need to feel protected here and now. This whole damn system's broken way beyond repair. It's just law, not law and order, not much good and seldom fair. Laws are made for everyone, we're treated all the same. Till the lawyer's tricks can fix the blame. What about the victims waiting for some justice? How can we turn away and say that's just the way things are? What about the families hiding in their houses? All of them afraid to walk the streets at night with all their doors locked tight. Tell me, where is the justice, if there's any justice?
So development for this musical was announced in December of 2013, and it had its world premiere on April 6th, 2015 at the Nisei Theater in Tokyo, Japan, with a Korean production opening the following July. On May 23rd, 2023, a London production was announced. It was a concert staging at the London Palladium that ran from August 21st and 22nd, becoming the first English production of the musical, aside from demos, but those don't count. The cast featured the one and only Rachel Clare Chan and a few other people. After its run at the London Palladium...
God damn it.
And a few other people.
Yeah, no one else of note. That's fine.
Yeah.
No one else of note. The production transferred to the Lyric Theater, where it had a limited run from September 7th to the 10th of 2023, and allegedly, a cast recording of the Palladium cast was announced in October of 2023 with a release date yet to be announced. Keep on those web zones, kids. The plot of Death Note is an intelligent high school student goes on a secret crusade to eliminate criminals from the world after discovering a notebook capable of killing anyone whose name is written into it, and a lot of other stuff. So, Rachel, you're in this show, but what is your history with the actual anime Death Note or manga?
So I think Death Note, especially in Asia, is quite a big thing. But it
Yes.
seems to be worldwide as well. I never really realized how many people were into it until the show actually happened. And the line at stage door was like 2.5 hours long. And people were telling me that they had flown in from like Brazil and stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. But anyways, my brothers had always watched it growing up. I think it was very much their era. Like they really loved watching that, the anime, and also reading the manga. But I had never really actually seen anything about it other than just it around, like stuff about Death Note in popular culture and stuff. So yeah, when I had been called in for it, I didn't know anything about it, which was kind of nice because then I didn't really have anything to base my giant expectations on or anything. Like I just had to create my own interpretation of it. And I did do some research by like watching some of the source material and stuff, but I didn't go crazy, which I feel like might be controversial to say because everybody at Stage Door was like, so have you seen every single episode and have you read every single one of the books? And I was like, don't ask me that question. But
I really respect it all.
I love it. I love it. It was but I also think that the way that they translated it into musical theater made it so that you didn't even really have to be a Death Note fan to get it. Like they changed obviously the ending and stuff, which from what I gather was quite a big thing. Like everybody was always talking about how it ended and how everybody was shocked about that. So yeah,
a lot of from the people I've surveyed, because I did put out a survey on our Twitter of people's general thoughts. The main thing that people said is the ending of the musical is so much better than the anime.
I mean, they really actually, I think in rehearsal, we had our ending changed. Like I want to say 3 or 4 times before we got to the one that we actually did. And I'm pretty sure that, it was up to very, very close to the end that they landed on the one that we did at the Palladium and at the Lyric. Because Ivan, who wrote the show, was in the room with us, and I think it just like needed to be played with. So they constantly were changing it and like throwing things at us to see how it could sort of end. And I think it ended up pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think before we dive into all that, I kind of want to survey Andrew and Liz really quick. Do you either of you know anything about Death Note before diving into this show?
Well, I know what the internet told me. I've never watched oh man, I'm gonna have to out myself here. I've never watched any anime at all.
I've seen one anime, and I've seen like 5 episodes of it, and then I forgot to keep watching it, and it wasn't Death Note. So, I think it was called The Promised Neverland, because it was a horror anime, and my friend made me watch it. It was like, okay, cool. But I know a fair amount. I know of the premise of Death Note and like the basics, because I've seen the 15 minutes of the American version.
Oh God!
Everyone loves that American version. Like they just took that concept and did great things with it.
Yeah, it's bad. Let's not never talk about it again.
I've watched only one anime all the way through, and it was Les Miserables Shoujo Cassette, which was the anime version of Les Mis. strangely very accurate to the book. But it refuses to kill people. Like, Javert survives that and just decides, oh, I'm going to learn a lesson and change. They made choices. It was interesting. And also, Gavroche had a
very
little puppy
unlike
dog
him.
friend.
He had a dog friend? That's awesome.
Yeah. He's on the barricade. And you know what? I consider alternate universe because if Gavroche had a dog friend in the book, he would have survived the barricade because the dog friend pulled him out after getting shot.
Aw.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, highly recommended. But Death Note is something that I have a peripheral knowledge of strictly through this musical. I've been following the musical from its original like concept album with Jeremy Jordan and all that for a whole while, since like 2015.
No, yeah,
'cause-
that it was really surprising that like that many people actually knew about it from that album. Loads of people did, and it was quite surprising because I had never heard anything about it, but it has a cult following and people love it.
So, you must have met Frank Wildhorn at least once.
Well, he was in the room for our entire rehearsal process, so
I figured, but I didn't want to assume anything.
yeah, we know he's an incredible guy. I will say that, like, he is one of the most generous composers I've ever met, and he's really wonderful to work with. It really is quite a positive experience to work with him, and he lets everybody sort of make the material their own, which is super refreshing in the world of musical theater. I feel like you can come across a lot of composers who really like to hold on tightly to their material, but Frank was always encouraging us to play and to make our own choices and then sort of talk about them with him, which was really nice, and he was just generally very supportive and kind about everybody in the cast, so we had a great time making the show.
I believe every word of that. From all accounts that I've heard secondhand, he does not come off as a theater person in the same way that kind of Andrew wouldn't come off as a theater person. He got his start in pop songwriting and kind of wandered into theater and found success with Jekyll and Hyde and would continue to work in the industry. And every interview with him, I say this with all the respect in the world, he seems like such a bro. Like, he seems like
he definitely told us, like, I'm a jazz guy, and I think it is such a beautiful thing to like hang out with people that are not holding on to their musical theater ego with every bit of their fingers. And I don't know, I was gonna go with an analogy about something like that, but yeah, it is really lovely because he has a very beautiful way of telling stories through that more poppy type sound. And I really enjoyed it. It's super refreshing to do that. Yeah.
Now, truly, and I think what the discovery I have with Death Note and doing research on his post-Death Note work is I think just American theater did not match the ambition of the way he's writing his music, of these big power ballads, where Jekyll and Hyde, I think the power ballads work, but I think the sets don't live up to it. Whereas I'm looking at things that he's done since Death Note, and Death Note has this grand, really cool looking epic set and these epic sounds and these cool designs. And he's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 musicals, all rough, none of them in America, most of them in Tokyo, where he has developed and cultivated a brand new audience that keeps coming back and wanting more from him. So I think he just needed a better theater industry.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they love him. It's incredible. Like, all of his work is so well received, and even Death Note in the UK was crazy well received by everyone. We really enjoyed that because, I mean, with a show like this, you would expect sort of the cult following to come along with it. Even all of the critics and stuff that came to see the show really loved it, and we were all just really chuffed that it was received well.
What was the process of you getting involved in Death Note? Where did you audition? Where did you go? How did you end up in this role?
Yeah, so I was still in school when they were casting it. I was doing my master's at the Royal Academy of Music, so I was still auditioning and just, living my best life with my newly signed agent, which was terrifying. And then basically I had just gotten like a tape through for it, so I sang the song and then I was offered it. So it was pretty crazy. Like, I kind of didn't believe that I was going to be doing it until I was actually there. But yeah, that's how I got involved. They just found me somehow. Yeah.
I I am not surprised that it was that easy. Truly, like, just watching it develop has been so fascinating. All right. So I guess the question is, you start doing the show. What was the entire experience doing this like? I don't want you to go too deep into it because that's not really what our show is. We're not really an interview show, but give me like one of the highest points in performing this show for you.
You know what? I will say that I feel like the entire process of rehearsing and performing Death Note was such like a fever dream. It was like summer of London where the heat wave happened and we were all super warm backstage. Like, that's what I remember of it. But actually, what I remember of it was just that the community surrounding it was so supportive that it made it such a joy to actually do and be there and to show the show to like sold out audiences and everything. But actually, probably my biggest joy of it was getting to work with all the people that were involved with it. Like people like Adam Pascal and Frances Mailey McCann. Like these people are real role models and people that I've looked up to since I was a young musical, like since the last time I was on the show. So that was a crazy experience to get to be in the room with such legends and work with them on the floor. And then we had a great director and all of our team, like Nick Winston and everybody were absolutely incredible. And it was just a very joyous time. And the other thing is that I think that they really did a very good job of supporting the storytelling from an Asian perspective as well. So we had like a Japanese cultural consultant and everything like that. So it was really important to all of us that we were telling the story in an authentic way, even though it's like, I mean, it's based on like a lot of fantasy stuff anyway, but it was still important that we were portraying sort of the world in a way that was translating to audiences in an authentic way. So yeah, I loved it all.
I believe it. So here's where we actually have to go into the content of Death Note the musical. And now, Andrew, at long last, what is the plot of Death Note the musical?
Oh no, they go so fast. They fly through the plot.
It's more because actually, like, we were doing a concert version of it, so not all of the script was in it. Like, there is more to the book, and there are many more scenes. Because actually, with concert versions, obviously, in London, it can get a little dicey because, like, some concerts are really just people standing and singing, and then some concerts are kind of like our show, which was not really a concert, if I do say so. Like, it had staging,
concert
it had
with big quotation
choreography.
marks.
Exactly. So I feel like we over-delivered, but also then it makes people forget that there is a whole show to like if it came back it would be in a fuller form than this.
That's incredible. I appreciate that because I thought I was getting a full show. Truly, when I watched it, I'm like, this is great.
Just got robbed. Didn't even know it. He didn't even know it.
Highway robbery. Frank Wildhorn, I'll get you.
Okay, so there's this high school kid named Light who is whose dad is a detective. I had to look that up. I thought he was a lawyer. My bad. He's a detective. Light has very interesting opinions on justice in that he thinks the death penalty should be universal. Apparently.
He gives big Anakin Skywalker vibes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the Punisher, like something like that. So he finds a magic book from this weird demon guy. Is a Shinigami.
Yes.
I think I pronounced that right.
Yeah, I think so. It's a creation by Death Note, the writers, so it doesn't have any like.
It's a weird demon guy.
Yeah.
So the book kills anybody that he writes the name into, and importantly, he can also like describe the stuff that they're gonna do for like the last bit of their life as well, and like control people sort of, because that's like a plot point. So he just starts killing all the criminals and becomes pretty famous pretty quick as this vigilante figure Kira,
which means killer.
Yes, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the translation. Okay,
it does. I'm saying it as a fact.
Yeah, it is. It literally is.
I thought Jess made it up.
Sounds right too. Both options sound equally right.
So this, there's two other people who are like important that I need to describe. There's Misa, who is like a famous star who their parents got killed or something, and she really looks up to Kira. And she wants to meet him and help him. And then there's Elle, who is this enigma detective type who no one knows his name, and he's very strange, doesn't wear shoes, stands on his chair,
Eats candy.
Yeah.
So he's just a bisexual who doesn't know how to sit.
It's basically like, as far as what we see in the musical, his detective powers are effectively magic. Like, he's just able to figure out who did it by just thinking really hard about it, I guess.
That's Columbo too, though. Like, let's
Yeah.
not pretend that's a new thing for detectives.
Elle keeps saying, like, he has to be a high school student. I'm like, why?
And he's
because of
like,
the
it has to
schedule.
be your son because he's smart. And it's like, what?
No. It makes sense. Y'all aren't listening. It had to be a high school student because of the scheduled time that he was doing the Death Notes, because it would have been during school times, and it had to be his son because you're the only one that knew about this shit, and he went and killed the people that knew about it, so it had to be you, right? Like,
Wait a
it
second.
logically tracks.
Wait a second.
It had to be you.
It had to be this specific child.
No, it's like, you have a son, and the other people died, so...
So, at the end of Act 1, Misa gets a book, another book, from
Another Death Note.
a different
Another
demon.
death note. It's another death note in circle.
And then basically from there, Misa and Light like meet up, and Misa can like tell who Elle is because she gets like the demon eyes, and then Elle kidnaps her, and there's a big convoluted plan, and basically at the end, Elle is like killed by the demons, and then the demons get bored and kill Light, and it ends.
No, I think the demon killed Light because he's like, you're going to go to prison anyways, and I don't really want to follow you just because you're in prison, so let's just kill you now.
Well, he wasn't going to go to prison, though. He got away with it. He was going to lead the task force.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that. Maybe,
What do you
okay.
mean you don't know
I've-
about that?
I've
That's what happens in
digested
the
a
show.
lot of Death Note material recently,
Oh, no. No.
and I'm pretty sure
according
that's
to
the ending of the anime.
Well, according to the musical plot, Ryuka's like, Elle is dead. I'm gonna have a boring life now, so I'm gonna kill you, Light, so I can have a different life. That's
Yeah, I'm
actually
going with the
interesting.
musical ending. In the
Yeah,
musical's
that's what
ending,
the musical ends with.
You
The-
are right.
the stuff that was about to happen in the manga and the anime after Elle dies, because I did Wikipedia research, all that doesn't happen. The demon guy just gets bored and is like, fuck that. You're dead.
Which, honestly, better ending.
Yeah.
I like that ending.
Makes the love story between Elle and Light so much sexier.
It really does.
It's just too horny to mention. Like,
All right, I feel like I did a decent job. I think I
I
covered
think
most points.
Rachel,
You did a great
what's
job.
a grade?
No, I think that was a great job. There are a lot of people, a lot of moving parts in it, and I think you did great.
The pacing is quick, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
You know, it's good to not have long sections where shit stops, especially when you're trying to cover a story that's usually told over like 30 hours or something.
hmm
So, you know, you condense it to 2 hours, you got to keep things moving, and they do. So,
From my experience with the anime, which I did kind of a cursory watch through, not a particularly in-depth watch, but I did do my research.
he had
The
it on
anim-
triple speed.
Yeah, he
shut
watched.
up.
He was very busy
Um,
today.
I've been busy this whole week. So I think the anime takes itself very seriously. There's light moments of humor, but it's like overall a very serious kind of edgy story. And I love that the musical is camp. I love that the musical is very campy and embracing that
camp.
side of it. And that's what makes it all so palatable. And these dark things are offset by very broad, very big comedic moments and very, I won't call it unserious, but very theatrical and broad costuming and designs. And I love it.
Yeah, I think people, when we were saying that we were going to do this whole thing, people's main question was always like, how is that going to work? Like, I feel like we get that question all the time of Death Note the musical? Like, that seems so silly. But everybody that came to see it, even my friends that weren't into Death Note or maybe even musical theater, were like, oh, it was actually really interesting, really good. Yeah, just because I think we did lean into, like, I don't think anybody was trying to be unaware that they were in a musical of an anime that deals with some very big plot points. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's making me think, actually. Is this the only musical adaptation of an anime? Is this a thing that...
Would you consider Little
Is this
Orphan Annie
unique?
an anime?
This is one of the first major one. It is the first major one, actually, I think. And then Frank's written another one based on Your Lie in April, which is happening in London in April. So that's going to be really interesting as well. I think there's a
Let's go,
huge
Frank.
market for it, and everybody loves them. So we should lean into it a bit.
According to Wikipedia, there are 16 musicals based on anime or manga.
We've covered
60
one of them.
or 16?
16. That includes Pokemon Live. So.
Oh, we're counting Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah, we're counting Pokemon Live. Yes.
Yeah, Andrew Rannells. I mean, you can't not count that.
I almost forgot about Pokemon. That's a good one. That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah, it's so
There's
good.
also like a Black Butler one. There's tons of Sailor Moon musicals. Like,
There's an Attack on Titan musical.
honestly, Frank Wildhorn, get on that Sailor Moon musical.
Yeah, no, the story for us was that basically he was given the material from when he was in Japan, like, and they were like, would you be interested in writing a musical about this? Like, it has extreme emotion, and he read it, and he basically was told by his son, like, it'll make you cool. And I feel like it's true. It did make him cool.
Rachel, before we move on to the preview section, I just need to say, your character, you have surpassed every major actress to ever play that role in English. You are a better overall human being, a kinder soul, and a more talented performer, and I hope you know that from the bottom of my heart, and I can say that without any concern of repercussions.
Thank you very much.
Fuck you, Laura Osnes.
I just checked why he said that as he was talking.
Wait.
That's a pretty good joke.
Wait, you can't throw that at me and not tell me what's going on.
Okay,
So-
in the original album recording, Rachel's character is played by Laura Osnes, noted anti-vaxxer
And Trump supporter.
and Trump supporter.
Oh. Well played, I suppose.
Rightfully does not really have a career anymore, except for Alabama regional theaters. And you know what? Rachel Clare Chan's on the rise, so there's a spot now for Rachel to take in all Frank Wildhorn musicals. You want to play Bonnie? You want to play Lucy from Jekyll and Hyde? It's all for you, Rachel.
Yeah, I know it's quite funny. Yeah, I honestly don't really know what to say about this, but yeah, that album was banging though. I will say that
Yes.
they did a great job even in 2015. Like, it actually surprises me that it took this long to bring it to the English speaking musical theater world.
There is a lot of reaction from that. Like, for years there were animatics, which I think is the best compliment towards any musical, is when they start getting animatics from the fans, because I think those are lovely and wonderful. I can't wait for your animatics for your song, Rachel. It'll come. We got to get that album out there first. But you know what? Who cares about what we think about this musical or what we think about musicals altogether? Because it's time to compare our opinions to those of the crazy folks on Letterboxd.com. It's time for previews! The Letterboxd game, 1 star or 5 star. Rachel, do you remember how to play this game? I don't think you've ever played this game now that I
I
think
don't think
about
I've
it.
played this game. I think this is a new thing.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yes.
the last time I was here, you guys just used to read out what like the Times had to say about everything.
Yeah, but
we only do that sometimes now.
Yeah, only usually.
We only do it when Ben Brantley has something wacky to say. Because you're in the show. I don't want to pull up the reviews. That's really uncomfortable.
But the reviews are really good.
I've read them, but also just sitting
They're
there like,
really
yeah.
good.
And also, it's funnier if we just look at the crazy people.
Okay.
So these are
I'm ready.
real life reviews from letterboxd.com of a myriad of Death Note materials. So, and you will have to guess head to head with Andrew whether they are a 1-star or 5-star review based on nothing but the review alone.
Okay.
So
Ready.
we're going to be on teams. Rachel, you're on my team. Liz, you're on Andrew's team.
Why am I on Rachel's team? I'm kidding.
Because I wanted to hang out with Rachel for a bit.
Fine.
All right.
I'll hang out with
Liz-
Andrew.
Liz, why don't you start us off?
All
with Andrew.
right. Not even Willy Wonka can keep up with all the candy Elle ingests on a Sunday morning.
When you reference the material, like it's usually a 5.
Yes, it's a 5.
Yes.
All
okay,
right.
okay.
Rachel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bare ass cheeks. That is the full review.
Bears don't have ass cheeks.
Yeah, you do. Haven't you watched a
They
Charmin
technically do.
commercial?
Yeah, they had to wipe their butts with Sherman.
I mean, there aren't any actual bare ass cheeks in the musical, so I'm gonna say it's a 1.
That is correct.
Well
Lovely.
done. That was a
Good
tough. That was a tough one.
Usually, I would say that bare ass cheeks is like a positive thing, so that's why it was a little bit difficult, you know.
All right, put it on the t-shirt. Bare ass cheeks is a positive thing. Signed, Rachel Clare Chan.
Always.
Always.
Make the merch.
That's also my review of Rent the Musical. All right.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
I'm ready.
Feels like if Team Edward versus Team Jacob was on acid.
No lie. I don't get it, but it's no lie.
I don't fully
Yeah, I
get
don't-
it, but
I don't really understand what that
I did not make
means,
up a
but
single one of these.
yeah, we don't make these up.
I'm gonna go 5 stars. I think that the Twilight fans
Correct.
like Death Note. Yeah.
Rachel,
All right.
are you
all
ready?
right.
I'm ready.
Okay, I am reading this the exact way they wrote it. Why they have to kill off the cute emo boy? 3 crying emojis.
There are so many cute emo boys in question. I feel like the crying emojis could be, you know, it could be like I'm really passionate about this, but it also could be like I really hate this. I'm gonna say 1 star.
10 out of 10. You got it, Rachel.
Woo!
For the first timer, you're doing actually very good at this game. Some people get actually properly stressed out during it. Patrick H. Williams, I think about night and day. He just turned red. He's like, I need to get these right. And it was truly uncomfortable to watch. I'm like, this is a goofy game for a podcast. Calm the fuck down, bro.
There's no money on the line.
All right, Liz.
All right. Is that Willem Dafoe?
Green Goblin. 5. I'm just throwing it out
Yes.
there.
Yes, Andrew, it is 5.
I'm doing good.
Rachel.
And no, I don't think it is Willem Dafoe.
It is in the
It is in
American
the live
movie.
action one. With
Oh
the
God,
Americans
is it
in
really?
it.
Yeah. Rachel. Here's the review. All lowercase. No gay sex. Frowny face.
Ooh, this is a hard one. I feel like you guys are giving me the
That's-
hard ones. I think this might be somebody who's saying they enjoy the relationships in the show and would like more. I'm gonna guess 5 purely because I don't think that you would give me all the 1s and Andrew all the 5s.
I am so sorry, but that was a
You
1.
can't- You can't make that kind of assumption.
I'm just trying to lean into that whole detective thing, you know?
I've got feelings that your son might be the killer.
Nah.
All right, Liz, let's do one more round.
All right.
Wait, so what was the answer?
Oh, it was 1. You got it wrong. Sorry, Rachel.
The cherry on top. I loved it.
I assumed by our reaction that you had picked that up. I apologize.
All right.
All right.
Andrew, you ready?
I'm ready.
Fooled by the love I felt.
I think this was written by Jess, so we're gonna go with 5 stars.
That's a 1.
All right, Rachel, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All lowercase. If you're
Sorry, Andrew.
if you're team light, you're a psychopath.
5 stars because they paid attention.
Correct, and that is a tied game of the Letterboxd reviews. Do you want to do one more and break that tie, or do you want to leave as tied masters?
Yeah, I want to break that tie.
All right.
She said she wants to. You want to break that tie, Rachel?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So, whoever gets, just scream out the answer when you think you have one. Literally, it's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, just say the answer.
All right, I got this, Liz.
All right, Jess, you pick.
Oh.
There's a lot of good choices here.
There are. I'll take a potato chip. Eat it.
5 stars.
5 stars.
You're both wrong. We can't do that.
Okay, I'll pick one to actually break this tie.
Okay. You can't do that.
All right, remember, it's a 50-50 shot. I mean, if I were named Light Turner too, I'd hate the world.
1 star.
Rachel wins.
Rachel won. Yeah.
What? I picked 1 star too, though.
Rachel said it before
but she
you.
said it first.
On my end, I heard it first, but whatever.
Internet
It's
delays.
fine. I'm gonna double that and put it in echo and make sure everyone knows that I said it first.
1 star.
All right, let's go into a mid-show and then talk about these songs. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got a shill out of you. Today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Patreon's this place where you get a bunch of cool perks and a bunch of neat stuff, including the opportunity to request what episodes we cover. In fact, this episode you're listening to right now was a Patreon request by our very own Hut Mutt Butt, who... I don't know. That's the name they gave me. I don't think that's their legal name. I don't think I can put that in the death note and have them die. But they did.
Is this similar to a bare ass?
Yes, bare
cheeks?
ass cheeks.
Does Death Note have rules on Discord usernames? I don't know.
Oh God. What if I put my gamer tag in the death note?
Yeah, does gamer tags work on Death Notes?
I don't know, but we covered this today with Rachel, thankfully, because they decided they wanted to get that high tier and request this episode, and we're grateful for that. And Rachel, as always, we are always grateful to have you on, and this has been a joy so far, and we still got a lot of episode left. But our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Danielle Renix, Justice Stampede, Owen Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Jenny C, Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thespian, Robert Benjamin, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Chris Marcotte, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Trevi Joseph, RJ Noriga, Julia McLennan, Bjorn Hermans, Toriana Frazier, Sammy, The Adequate Amount, Jacobson, Kaylee Blazier, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophiana Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Elisa Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Sarah Den Blekier, Evan Ball, Zachary Torres, Rora Morasso, Mara Forloin, Lisa L, Possessed Washing Machine, Nick Roten, Puffy Boy, Sydney Hicks, Anna Bale, Billy Clifton, Gold-Plated Kikimura, Julia Balsderdoder, Hut Mutt Butt himself, Emma, Dude 2.0, Matt, and Sabella Stang. They all give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you'd like to join them and support us and get the video version of this episode where you can see Rachel Clare Chan's beautiful room with this coral, I believe, wall.
Coral?
It is beautiful. It's not coral.
Coral
it's blue.
is like a pink.
Yeah, I think I made this exact mistake the last time you were on too. It is please play that clip now where I look embarrassed. No, Andrew won't do that. He won't touch the mid show. But you can see Rachel's room right now and see all of our goofy faces, and you'll see a lot of cut bits from the episodes. Most episodes have at least 10 or so minutes cut out of them. Some more episodes, like our School of Rock episode, had about 40 minutes cut out of it because it was too edgy for the internet to hear. And you can hear it only on our Patreon. Also, we have a Discord chat that is very active every day and good people on there. So come check that out. All right, let's get back to the show. Where is the Justice is an awesome opening I Want song for a very complicated character.
Listen to the families hiding in their houses, all of them afraid to walk the streets at night with all the doors locked tight. We must give them their justice. We owe them some justice. Where is the justice?
Is he that complicated, though?
He is fairly complicated, meaning not as like an internal like dealing with things, but as someone that you have to digest as your main character. That is complicated for you to deal with.
Okay.
A
Fair
kind
enough.
of guiltless murderer, and you're just like, well, that's our main character. It's like the best version of the opening to Jekyll and Hyde, where you have the board of governors, and he's just like, doing broken pillows and 1,000 aside, where you set up like an actual compelling viewpoint of the world, and it is immediately corrupted by a magical device that is given to this person to enact that. And they use it for bad, obviously. They use it for their own growth and pride and all these other things. But you can start at the core belief, which is virtuous. Where is the justice? But
I
also,
think it's a really good character like intro, and just kind of a good song. I don't know.
it's
I
got
think
that,
it slaps.
got that rock sensibility to it.
The best review of that song is it slaps, honestly.
Yes. That being said, let's move on to the next song. They're Only Human, which I love. This song is so wacky. It has to set up a really bizarre concept in a very easy to digest way. And it's catchy. I think this, as much as I think all the other ones are bops and ballads and all this one just feels like a proper bouncy musical theater song.
Struggling to face what can never be faced.
Yes, but maybe death can release something more than we share.
I really don't know and don't care.
They're only human,
standing still, doomed to live pushing boulders uphill. Only human after all. So they give and they take,
hoping someone will help break their fall.
they will pray, curse, live, die, never knowing that truth is another man's lie.
Eat, sleep, love, hate, like a leaf blowing in the wind.
Watch them all vacillate.
I think it's crazy the voice that this character has to sing with.
Mm-hmm.
And they pull it off. It reminds me of Alex Brightman as Beetlejuice, I guess, which is maybe a weird comparison, but
A lot of people have suggested if this ever comes to Broadway that Alex Brightman play that role. However, I wonder if the album did ever come to be, Rachel, would it be the gentleman that played it in the second performances, or would it be Adam Pascal? Not
It's
saying that
Adam
you know,
Pascal. I do know. I don't know if I
Wait,
can
are we
actually
allowed-
say
are we
that, but
allowed
I
to
feel
say
like
that?
it.
Are we allowed to
Yeah.
Yeah.
release that?
It's published. Published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Like
am
there are photos
so
of him on Broadway World.
I am so excited for that because I love
that's
Adam Pascal's voice. So his voice, and I mean this as a compliment, already kind of has that demonic sound to it without having to add an additional affect to it. Like his just natural singing voice has such a deep rasp in it that I feel like for that role, I would have given anything to hear more of that and hear him play that. Andrew,
No, he was incredible.
and he seems like a nice guy. He seems
a
like a
very
very
nice
nice guy.
He is super humble, super like he's just one of those legends that you can really tell why he's in the position that he's in because he's such a lovely human being. And he did take a lot of questions on Rent on the first day. Everybody was asking him about Rent. I was like, guys, maybe
What were
this
they
man just
asking
wants
about
to.
Rent? Like,
They're
I
like,
would ask
so
you-
tell us about Rent.
oh, just tell
What
us
was
about
Jonathan
Rent.
Larson like?
No, but he's amazing. And actually, one of my favorite memories of the whole rehearsal process was hearing him sing for the first time. It was great.
I completely agree. I've had people that worked with him that I know like peripherally, as well on the Devil's Carnival. I think he's amazing in Alleluia Devil's Carnival. I think he's great. And the gentleman that was in the Yo-Ho video we have also did a fantastic job.
His name was George McGuire.
What it feels like a different performance than Adam Pascal would have done, but also very, very good.
Yeah. Well, George, I mean, is an incredible actor in his own right. Like he's won an Olivia Award. So, he took a very different route with Ryuk, I think in general, which is really nice and was very refreshing for us. And I think there really is no comparison because they were so different as the character. Yeah, I think obviously there are different skills that you can play up and stuff in terms of like how chaotic the character is going to be. And I feel like George was very, very good at all of the comedic timing and just making him generally a goofy, wacky guy. So it was a really nice, like, unserious take of the character that was very fun to play with and watch.
And now on to our Andrew Lloyd Webber section where we have Hurricane, which repeats a lot in very effective ways throughout the entire story. I know when I posted about this on Twitter and got people's reactions, people kept bringing up Hurricane being like one of their favorite musical theater songs ever. And I can see that exactly why. It has, once again, all those power ballady things that you want from Frank Wildhorn. And he always seems to nail. And it's very specific and feels very in tune with the tone that this musical is setting up. The very kind of dark intimacy of it. And every time it pops back up, I'm very happy to hear it.
Once they feel the power of the hurricane. Finally a chance to find a little justice. There's nowhere to run to once the name is penned. Take what fortune grants you, use it while you've got it. Once you have begun, you ride it to the end. Elegant solution, flawless execution, righteous retribution on the way. I'll bring the rain, I'll bring the wind. I am a mighty hurricane, the human stains and all their sins blown away. I bring the pain, so be afraid. I will bring the power of the hurricane.
You needed a number like this as well, where it keeps coming back whenever he's essentially going on his spree. It's good, and I like I just kind of like the whole vibe of it, and I'm glad that it is a continuous theme throughout the entire show.
I agree. But there's really only one song that I think is worth talking about. Truly the best song in the show, the best performed song in the show for one of the best characters and actors. It is called We All Need a Hero.
ただそばに寄り添ってくれる人 大切なものをいつも見失わない人空を飛べる翼はない魔法だって使えないけど理想のヒーロー立ち向かう勇気をいつもくれるその笑顔で私のヒーロー来るだけれど誰より優しい人兄貴のように
I feel like there might be someone in this discussion group that is best to describe this song and what it's like to perform it. Rachel, why don't you take it over?
I feel like I'm the worst person to discuss it, really. No, I love it. It's a very scary song to sing, actually, as an actor. And I've always said that I think Death Note was one of the scarier things I've done in my career because while it didn't seem like, I mean, in comparison to the other actors and kind of the workload that they had to pull off, I mean, Misa sings like 4 songs by herself or like 3 songs.
Mhm.
So, it felt like I had less to do, but much in that way. It's almost scarier because you don't have that much time to like warm up to being on stage and stuff. And I was kind of just like having to really make sure that my nerves weren't getting in the way and stuff. But I really loved it, and I think the general feedback about the song was that it's kind of one of the only like genuine moments of the entire show, where like the orchestration and everything sort of like pulls back, and you don't have that big rock sound. Like it's one of the only real musical theater moments in the show. So I did really enjoy singing it. It has a very scary interval that comes up in it like more than 5 times, which but it was a fun song to sing.
Off topic, but do you have any recordings of you singing this that are more legit than, just a bootleg recording?
I mean, the album's coming out and it's on it. But I don't know when that's coming out. And then I have I guess I have my own clips of it, but like I don't really have any like archival footage.
What else do we want to talk about? I'm looking at this list, and I know we haven't talked much about L's songs, and he has so many good ones, but I don't want to focus all of them on one. Which one do you think is the best L song, Andrew?
I don't really know. Like, I think his intro is good. I feel like there's one in Act 2 that is better, but I can't remember which one it was.
I really like the tennis game, just playing his game.
What would I do if I got inside his head? Thought like him instead. Could it be possibly I'll catch him when I look through his eyes, see what he sees, and then improvise until I can learn what puts him at ease. I'll walk in his shoes as long as it takes. So deep in my bones, I'm sure he is one and the same as the me who is playing his game.
That song gives me big falsettos, Whizzer and Marvin vibes, but it's also just as gay, just as wonderful, and I just love them sparring off through tennis. It's lovely. These 2 emo boys playing tennis, the least emo sport in the world.
I love the use of tennis too, because usually something like this you'd see like chess, like they'd be playing chess and like, but no, it's tennis.
But that doesn't it's not goofy. It's not at all goofy. It is campy and all those things.
No.
It feels so in line with both of these characters as they're sparring. But I love the fact that they don't really interact until Act 2. Like, that is what we're building up to through the entire narrative.
Goddamn, L as a character is the most interesting thing, and I just wish there was more.
I mean, that's most people's opinion. L has their own, so they did a live action.
We keep getting stuck with Misa. I'm sorry, I'm not a Misa fan.
I like Misa.
I like Misa.
They're a vibe. Anytime they're stage, I'm like, I may not be like plot wise interested, but man, you're just a vibe.
Feels like a pixie dream girl to me. I don't know. Gothic
No,
pixie
she just
dream
sees
girl.
she sees this guy have rampant sexual tension with another man. Is like, can you kiss me instead? Hi, I'm here.
Light's got a case
I-
with a not gaze.
Yeah.
I guess. But people really latch on to Misa and Rem specifically. Like that is the plot line that people really connect with. When I put the thread out there, one person, Musical Lala, said, I can't bring myself to be interested in any of their plot lines except Rem, Misa, and Ryuk, which I get it. People really latch into that. And L is a vibe, but he is kind of an archetype. L is Columbo. All right. I do want to talk about a Misa song really quick.
Okay.
I like all Misa's pieces.
Mises Pieces.
Fuck you. Fuck me.
The new candy.
You can tie me up and you can hold me down and you can ask me questions, try to turn me around and take me to the edge and push me off a ledge, and you can do most anything you want to do to me now. You will never change my mind, no, no, no. So tie me up and try to break me. You will never change my mind. I'd rather die than let you make me betray him. The years roll on with or without me. I'm already gone 'cause I'm living on borrowed time.
I like Borrowed
did it.
Time. I think it's a really good song.
It is a really good song.
It's like after everything gets a little darker, a little bit more intense, and you have this like beautiful, dark, unpleasant song, and it leads into when love comes with Rem. That was the moment where Misa became like a very, very three-dimensional, and I kind of like understood everything. What is your thoughts, Rachel?
No, I love Borrowed Time. I think it's one of my... I think I actually said that was my favorite song in the whole show. Aside from it just slapping again.
Yes.
Slaps so hard. Yeah, I would say that it really takes a turn in the musical, and it shows you like what kind of stakes there are, and also how far she's willing to go, and how she sort of doesn't have anything to lose. So it kind of answers the question of like, why is Misa always so hell-bent on like helping this kid do his stuff? And the answer is that she really doesn't have anything to lose, and she's lived quite a difficult life. So yeah, I think it makes it more understandable that she would be not okay being put in that position, but sort of okay like going the full way now that she's in that.
What is our overall thoughts and our cheese ratings for Death Note the musical? Andrew, why don't you start?
You know, I was pretty impressed, honestly. Death Note slaps, and Frank Wildhorn in Japan is we're going to Japan. It's fucking
Honestly,
over.
I think ever since Frank Wildhorn left America, he was just allowed to like, I'm gonna not deal with their bullshit and write good things.
I think we need to start a Frank Wildhorn arc, and just I think that we need to correct our mistake and change our community's interpretation of this composer. So as far as a cheese rating, I'm going to give it a cheddar cheese apple, which apparently is a real thing. I've looked it up.
I enjoyed this a lot. I knew like a cursory amount about Death Note going in, and I really engaged with it, and it really made me want to look into everything. It made me kind of want to look into it a little more. And the songs are great. They all slap. I think it's probably one of the best reviews you can give for this soundtrack. And it's really good. As for a cheese rating, I don't know. I'm having trouble with the cheese rating today for some reason. I'm gonna give it an apple pie with cheddar cheese on top because apples
Stick
are
with
cigarettes
apples.
to these demons.
That is strangely an American delicacy. My grandmother did it because she probably had dementia. All right, Rachel, what is your overall thoughts on Death Note the musical and your cheese rating?
Well, I don't know what I can really say about rating it because I'm biased. But it was like a career highlight for me, and I did really, really enjoy like originating Scion English. And I would say my cheese rating is Red Leicester because that's my new favorite cheese recently.
Ooh. That is a great one, and that is creative and one of my favorites so far. I love this show. I truly did. I like the album, and I've been following it for a while as like, I've been following it for a bit and just seeing it develop and become what it is. And I know it's only going to get better and more interesting as the show goes on and gets re-performed and put on a lot. My cheese rating, it's from the Cheese Shed favorites of White Lake Cheese from Somerset. It's a goat's milk cheese, whilst Morn Dew uses cow's milk. And it's called Rachel Cheese.
Wow.
Rachel Clare
Very
Cheese.
good. Rachel Clare Cham cheese.
Not Rachel Chan cheese.
Is that an actual cheese you can buy?
Yeah, Rachel Cheese, yes. I didn't make this up. It is right here, just so you believe me. You can get it at the Cheese Shed. Great cheese from off the beaten track.
Good tagline.
You know, I think that's a good choice. Rachel, as always, I am very grateful that you still give us the time of day, let alone hop onto this goofy little podcast. Please promote your wonderful stuff for the world to find you.
No, this is my least favorite part of the whole thing.
I don't exist. Don't look for me.
Yeah, you can find
I'm
me.
I'm nowhere.
Yeah, I'm basically everywhere. As I really am refusing to do this like self-promotion thing this time. You can find me. It's not that hard. Nice.
You can find Rachel Clare Chan on Instagram as well as X, aka Twitter, as well as TikTok at Hype Rachel. It kind of looks like Hyper Rachel.
It is Hyper Rachel. It's Hyper Rachel.
Well, there's only one R.
It was like 6th grade me being clever.
It looks like Hype Rachel or Hyper Rachel.
I really need to get on changing that.
Speaking of her people, thank you people for listening. Please follow us on iTunes and Spotify and leave us a review. We also have questions on Spotify. I don't know why they introduced that feature, but you guys keep using it. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. We're on Patreon at Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Hop in those DMs, Frank Wildhorn. I would love to hear from you.
Now he won't.
He will act like, what? Nah, I ain't listen to that. Not today. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. And Rachel, this is going to be so weird, but Juliet writes for ASMR, so every time we have a guest, I ask them to do a little ASMR hello to Juliet. Would you mind?
Hi, Juliet. Nice to
That's lovely. Our show is edited by the one and only Andrew DeWolf, and I think he's doing a fantabulous job. Our theme songs were created by Robyn, Nash, VIOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. Thank you to Liz Eston for doing our research and development side of this podcast. We are so grateful for you, and I'm so happy you're here. All right. Anything else we have left to say before we wrap this up?
I gotta go write my death note, so.
Oh, damn. I feel
I'm
like
doomed. It's over for me.
I feel like around 35 seconds ago, someone wrote my name in a death note. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to sing because I want to sing We All Need a Hero, but I'm too embarrassed to do it right now, honestly. I can't do it.
You can't do it.
You can't do the song.
Come on, Jess.
I can
Have
do
some
it. They're
confidence.
only human after all, because that's a character voice, and that's fun.